tabanni, which is what was forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we equate it with adoption. We say, well, isn't adoption haram? I think that if anyone looks at everything we've covered thus far in this class, it sounds quite ridiculous to say something like that. It really, really does, because it really counters everything that our religion stands for. There are a few things from the perspective on the technical ban on adoption with Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And adoption, again, tabanni in that sense. It's not the perfect equating of terms. When it came to Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Zayd was also over the age of puberty. And we said this, that yatim in Islam is up until the age of bulugh, up until the age of puberty. So even afterwards, there was no way for him to be considered an orphan in that sense anyway. Zayd was already a grown man. He was married. He was very active in his society in multiple fronts and things of that sort. So he would not have been considered an orphan at that point. Anyway, now one of the things that we always have to balance is that we always look to the objectives of the law and the technicalities. And we should not allow the technicalities to override the objectives, nor should we try to use the objectives to negate the technicalities, but instead you have to find that perfect harmony, that marriage between the two. There are legal restrictions and rituals and things of that sort, but you don't negate the purpose of the Sharia. There's a reason why we have maqasid the Sharia, the technicalities and the universals. So you have to try to find that balance between the two, and that is very complicated with this subject in particular. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow what I say to be truth, and to allow us to avoid falsehood or speaking without knowledge or out of place. So one of the principles of Islamic law, one of the maqasid, is hifdhul nasl or al-ird. They're either two separate maqasid or they're one, which is to preserve lineage or to preserve honor. I consider them to be two separate kulliyat, two separate universals in fact. But the preservation of nasl, the preservation of lineage, is a very, very important part of our Sharia. And it's one of the maqasid, it's one of the universals. It saves society from a lot of problems. Okay, it's something that obviously, though it's an exception, it's not the norm. You end up, because you don't preserve lineage, with very complicated situations at times. You do have brothers that end up marrying their sisters unknowingly and things of that sort. That type of stuff does happen. And there are numerous reasons why the preservation of lineage is one of the maqasid of Sharia. So the first question that comes up usually when you're talking about adoption is the idea of naming a child. Does the child have to be named after their father, their biological parents, or can they be named after you?